Hi guys, so I'm getting a bit impatient with the sourdough, so I'm actually going to make a simple crusty loaf of bread. Hopefully that'll be ready tonight. If not, I don't know. The sourdough are only on day 3 and it's like I say, getting a little bit impatient. So I have everything I need, so plain flour, or you can use white bread flour, some yeast, some warm water, a bowl to start, and we're actually going to cook it in my cast iron dish. Never done that before, but you know. So we're going to start with 450 grams for my trusty old scales. Ooh, 450, just there you can see. So that's going to go in my bowl with, now it says 2 tablespoons of yeast, which I'd imagine is going to be about the whole pack, so 7 grams, but like I say, I'm not sure. I feel like just pouring the whole pack in, but let's do it properly. So 1 teaspoon, sorry not tablespoon, teaspoon. Well, that was, yeah, that'll do. Any remaining. And then 2 teaspoons of salt. Again, just go for what I think is 2 teaspoons. And then I'm just going to give it a mix. And then we're going to go for 375 ml of warm, just tap water. I've left the tap running for a little while, so it should be quite warm. Just bear with me, I'm just going to go and get a wooden spoon. So I have a wooden spoon, albeit it's chipped. It still does the job. But actually we're more going to focus on this part of the wooden spoon today. So let's give that a mix. Add the water. So I don't really want, I'm going to make a well in the middle. I don't really want to add it all at once. So I'm going to go for about a third. Then we're going to give that a mix. Mixy mix. If you don't have a cast iron dish, mine's quite shallow, so I'm actually not sure how this is going to turn out. A bit more water. You can use a deep baking tray and get another baking tray underneath it and fill it with water so it kind of steams the oven. Right. This is good. The last time I made bread, I had a bread maker, so actually I didn't make bread, the bread maker did. So this is all new for me. It's going to go in there. And I feel like if this works, I might just stick to this rather than sourdough every week, because, like I say, it's a very long processed sourdough. Right, so this dough should be wet and sloppy. So almost like a cake batter. Make sure I've got all that flour, from around the sides of the bowl. And then I am just going to cover it with cling film and leave it somewhere warm in the kitchen for about 2 to 3 hours. When I've just got dough and flour everywhere. So if it doesn't seem to rise after an hour, you can do the microwave hack. So you can get a cup, fill it with water, put that in the microwave for a minute, and it will steam the microwave, and then you can pop your dough in there, which will form it to rise. So yeah, there's always that to do. But so we're going to leave it in a warm place for 2 to 3 hours, and then after an hour and a half of the dough rising, if it's doubling in size, that's good. We're then going to pop our oven on to, I don't know what gas mark yet, figure that out in a minute. We're going to pop it onto a gas mark and then warm our dish up as well. Okay, so when your oven's preheated, and put that dish in there. So right, I'm going to go and cover that with cling film, and I'm going to pop it somewhere warm. I'll be back shortly. So I have just clarified, and you are going to preheat the oven to gas mark 7, which is about 220 degrees. So yes, I've also popped my dough on the dining room table next to the radiator that's on, so hopefully that will improve the rise. So yes. So bread, crusty bread, both, I don't really know. I started without, everybody, sorry, I floured my work surface. So yeah, so it's been 3 hours and now my dough looks like this. It's rose quite well. However, I did put it in the warm bit of the kitchen near the radiator. I've washed my hair, I've took my makeup off, but yes, that's fine. So what we are going to do is I've floured my work surface. We're just going to pop it out like that. Ooh. I've got a spatula as well, if you don't know what that is. I'm just going to pop just a tiny bit of flour over the top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in. So we'll go that way. We want to do about 6 folds, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll do. I'm just going to get my baking paper. And remember, I hope that you've preheated your oven with your dish in as well. If you do have a Dutch oven, you can use that. However, I only learned that a Dutch oven today was basically a casserole dish with a lid. So yeah, if you have that, you can use that. Or you can just use a cast iron dish. Like I said, I'm not sure how this is going to go, but live and learn. So what I would like to do is, I've just explained in the sourdough video as well that my toy toys is out. And she's feeling very snappy tonight, and I have no slippers on. So what I would like to do is just basically not like that, but kind of just roll the dough so it's in the centre of the paper, like that. And then, so then it's easy to stick up. I might just kind of just form it so it is. The more edges you have, I'm hoping that the more crustier it gets. But yeah. So, I suppose that, oh guys, I'm so sorry, you can't really see, looks almost like a rustic loaf. So yeah, so let me get my dish out of the oven and we'll go from there, bear with me. Right, my dish is so hot. So please be very careful when doing this. I have preheated the oven to gas mark 7, which is about 220 degrees. And I preheated it about half an hour ago. Because you need to, with the dish in, because it needs to be nice and hot. So all I'm going to do, and like I say, if you don't have a dish like that with a lid, pop it on a normal, quite deep baking tray and pop some water, like another baking tray of water on the shelf below. So it's going to go in the middle of the oven as well. So we're just going to just pop it in. Oh, guys, I'm really not very good with this camera. So it's going to look like that in the dish. Like I say, my dish isn't very deep, so I don't know what it's going to look like, but yes. So I'll pop the lid on. So my bread is in the dish with the lid on, and we are going to pop it in the middle of the oven for 30 minutes. And then once that's cooked for 30 minutes with the lid on, we're then going to take the lid off and cook it for 12 minutes uncovered, just to give it a nice crispy top. So guys, I am back, and I have baked this for 30 minutes. I'm very forgetful. I don't know if you've, ow, it's hot. I don't know if you've picked that up. Anyway, so let's take off the lid. I've not looked yet, so I'm very scared. Whatever happens, I'll upload it, I'm very honest. Wow. Oh my god, it actually works. Right, I don't know why I thought it wouldn't work. But anyway, I'm going to pop it back in the oven for 12 minutes now to brown off that crust. That is amazing. Like, just look at that. Absolutely scrumptious. Anyway, I shall be back in 12 minutos. It's been 7 minutes and I'm very impatient, and I wanted to have a little check, and also very proud of my bread. I don't want it to burn. And I noticed that on one side it was browning a little bit more, so I have just spun it. So maybe take a note of that. If you are browning the top, just give it a little spin in the oven. So we will now, I've just burnt my arm on that lid. We will now wait another 6 minutes. I don't know. Well, I'll be back in 5 just to double check. Like I say, don't want the bread to burn, but yes, lovely. See you in a minute. Guys, just honestly, just look at that. Oh, absolutely delicious. Oh, I'm like over the moon. I was really scared that this wasn't going to go well. Obviously you can leave it in. Mine's been in for about 12-13 minutes. You can leave it in so it does brown a lot more. It's just personal preference. But yes, let's lift it out. Oh wow, and that is quite a big loaf. Like, I've stuck my thing in as well, and that is coming out perfectly dry, so there is no wet dirt. Basically it's cooked all the way through. Yeah, so here is my normal loaf of, well, crusty loaf of bread without the need for all the messing about with the sourdough, really. But yes, it would be nice to compare this to the sourdough. But yes, lovely.